A&R is a term that means artist and repertoire, which is coined from a probably 40s and 50s definition of a job of a person at a record company who signed the artists and then found the songs from outside writers, which was the repertoire, such as Johnny Mathis, Columbia Records, a great famous artist singer who was signed, and then they would find songs for him, as with many groups. Now, self-contained bands were around then, but were in the minority. So the A&R term, as the music business evolved in the 60s, remained the same. In the beginning, an A&R person is a talent scout who finds talent to sing, or as a band, play and sing their music, either that they've written or somebody else has written. A&R evolves into something else if you are a full service A&R person, that you then become the arbiter of the band's material and the editor of their material and the matchmaker for them working with a producer, other writers, art directors, video directors. You're sort of the director of the show or of the business of someone's recorded music. So somebody who is a producer usually makes the music in the studio, and the A&R person is actually the director of the whole operation, because you're the one who decides what producer is going to be used, what songs are picked. At least that's the definition of an A&R person up until fairly recently.
How has it changed recently?
Well, the decline of the record companies has, it's caused a great, I don't even know how to put this. It's the A&R person is not valued now, because record companies now want to sign bands for as little as possible. They want to spend as little as possible on making records, because they are not able to sell that many, because most people who are younger and who like music will try to steal the music instead of buying it. So the income sources have dried up. Therefore, it's hard to pay A&R people to sign bands. It's hard to sign bands for a lot of money. It's hard to make studio recordings that are more than rudimentary, because experimentation costs money. And so the function of an A&R person has changed. I mean, a record company now, they shun me because I only cost them money, meaning a band that I would work with, I would want to get it right, so we would redo things. It would cost more money, and so that's not really the economics of the record business now, due to the stealing of the consumer and the blatant disregard of copyright laws by everyone. I love music. I love to help to create music, because the musicians are the creators, and I'm not a musician, so it allows me to have some hand in creativity of an art that I otherwise wouldn't be a part of. On the other hand, most musicians I hate, because they're thoughtless and self-centered and really fairly uncaring about anything except themselves. And so in working with them, especially as an A&R person, they also learn to hate you, because you you are the only person in their life that criticizes them. Nobody else criticizes them, not their manager, not their fans, not their girlfriends or boyfriends. It's just you. So they end up really, when they're successful, they hate you and they feel contempt for you. And that's really what has happened in my career with all the great records I've made, which anyone could see on my website. All the bands that I've worked with, you don't end up with any friends being an A&R person, because you're the person who criticizes them, and you're the person that tells them no, and you're the person that always is pushing them to do better and not, gratifying them or kissing their ass. The reasons to do it is that it probably was the best job ever in the world, because, as I said, you work with music, you get to create something that you're not able to yourself. You get to work with creative people. Especially in the past, you got to work with not only creative artists, but great photographers, designers, video directors, all of which now have fallen pretty much by the wayside because no one can afford to pay them anymore. So it's probably the most gratifying job that you could have, except maybe being a doctor, healing somebody who was sick, or really helping somebody. The real people who have real jobs are, the people that are nurses or people that help handicapped people, and maybe researchers that, find cures. But as a gratifying job for your intellect, A&R is really the top of the line.